What really happened when Queen Mary visited Nigeria's presidential villa? Welcome to BNews. When royalty meets diplomacy on the warm red soil of Africa's most populous nation, the world pays attention. The recent visit of Her Majesty Queen Mary Elizabeth of Denmark to the Osso Villa in Abuja was more than a ceremonial gesture. It was a historic moment echoing far beyond the velvet halls of Nigeria's presidential residence. With Senator Oluyemi Tinubu, First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, standing by the president's side, this high-profile reception carried layers of diplomatic significance, cultural symbolism, and strategic importance. It wasn't just about royalty gracing Nigerian soil, it was about two sovereign powers recognizing the value of unity in an ever-changing global landscape. The Osso Villa, often described as the beating heart of Nigeria's political machinery, became a symbol of global unity that day. As Queen Mary Elizabeth stepped onto Nigerian soil, draped in elegant royal poise, it was not just the Nigerian media that watched closely. The eyes of the international diplomatic community turned to Abuja, wondering what this unprecedented meeting might yield. And indeed, it delivered much more than handshakes and photo opportunities. It heralded the strengthening of an already promising relationship between Denmark and Nigeria. Queen Mary Elizabeth's presence was a statement of goodwill, but also a clear message that Denmark sees Nigeria not just as an economic player in West Africa, but as a key partner in tackling global challenges. From climate change to economic inclusion, her visit to the seat of Nigeria's power projected a renewed commitment to shared ideals, sustainability, security, innovation, and mutual prosperity. The tone of the meetings was described by officials as warm and constructive, a phrase that often belies the weight of diplomatic strategy quietly unfolding behind closed doors. What made this meeting stand out wasn't just the dignitaries involved, it was the deeper conversations that ensued. Nigeria, with its growing population and strategic geopolitical position, stands at a crossroads of development and transformation. Denmark, with its forward-thinking policies on green energy, maritime security, and sustainable development, brings to the table a wealth of resources and experience. This visit created fertile ground for exchanging ideas and committing to future cooperation in ways that could transform lives on both sides of the Atlantic. The presence of Senator Oluyemi Tinubu added another powerful layer to the day's symbolism. A former lawmaker, an advocate for women's empowerment, and now Nigeria's First Lady, her involvement showcased a female-led diplomatic moment of grace and substance. Together, she and Queen Mary symbolized the role women play in shaping bilateral relationships and global leadership. Their shared appearance reminded us that diplomacy isn't just conducted through policy papers, it is lived and embodied through personal interaction, respect, and vision. The discussions held within the walls of Osso Villa were forward-looking and covered a broad spectrum of mutual interests. From economic development to environmental resilience, the topics tackled during this high-level engagement reflected both nations' commitment to crafting a better future. Particularly noteworthy was the emphasis placed on climate action and renewable energy. Nigeria is grappling with the devastating effects of climate change, rising temperatures, desertification in the north, and flooding in the south, while Denmark is one of the world's leaders in green technology. Queen Mary's presence underscored Denmark's readiness to support Nigeria in adapting to these challenges. Maritime security was another key agenda item. With Nigeria's expansive coastline and vital shipping routes, securing the Gulf of Guinea has become critical not just for national interest, but for global trade. Denmark, with its advanced maritime capabilities and strong naval cooperation programs, is uniquely positioned to assist. In fact, this conversation is particularly timely, as piracy and illegal fishing continue to threaten stability and economic opportunity across West Africa's waters. Economic development was approached through a lens of inclusion. Queen Mary and her hosts emphasized creating opportunities not just for big business, but for smallholder farmers, local entrepreneurs, and youth-led startups. The Danish model of sustainable economic growth, where profit does not come at the expense of the planet or the poor, offers lessons for Nigeria, where youth unemployment and economic inequality remain pressing issues. The commitment to inclusive development, if followed through, could usher in a new era of job creation and entrepreneurship in Nigeria's growing digital and agricultural sectors. The cultural exchange between Denmark and Nigeria also took center stage. Although Queen Mary's visit was not categorized as a state visit, it bore all the hallmarks of deep cultural respect and recognition. As she toured artworks, listened to traditional performances, and interacted with local artisans, she demonstrated a genuine interest in the heartbeat of Nigerian identity. These gestures, though often overlooked in political analysis, go a long way in building trust and empathy between peoples. Throughout her engagements, Queen Mary was notably attentive, gracious, and curious. Those present described her demeanor as deeply human, a trait that elevated her diplomatic presence from official to unforgettable. She asked questions not out of protocol, but out of authentic interest. She listened intently to stories from local leaders, community advocates, and government officials. This approach, though subtle, sends a clear message that Denmark, through its royal emissary, respects and values the lived experiences of its partners. In addition to the high-level meetings, Queen Mary's itinerary in Nigeria included visits to development projects backed by Danish aid and partnerships. These included health clinics, educational initiatives, and youth empowerment centers, places where the impact of international collaboration can be seen most clearly. Her presence brought attention to these efforts and encouraged further investment from both governments and international donors. Her visit also brought much-needed visibility to women's empowerment programs operating in underserved regions of Nigeria. As an advocate for gender equality, Queen Mary's alignment with such initiatives highlights the importance of ensuring that women are not just beneficiaries, but leaders in shaping their societies. Nigeria's First Lady echoed these sentiments, noting the government's commitment to policies that uplift and protect women across the nation. The media buzz surrounding the visit created a domino effect of diplomatic goodwill. Commentators, both in Nigeria and abroad, noted how the tone of the engagement reflected a maturity in the relationship between the two countries. Gone were the formalities and rigid structures of traditional statecraft. In their place were open dialogues, laughter, cultural exchanges, and a genuine sense of partnership. As the visit concluded, both Nigeria and Denmark issued a joint reaffirmation of their commitment to building a partnership that goes beyond aid. The new focus will be on co-creation, collaborative projects where both sides contribute ideas, resources, and innovations. This approach has the potential to redefine what international cooperation looks like in the 21st century. And as Queen Mary departed from Nigeria, the echoes of her visit remained. Government agencies began drafting new memoranda of understanding. Danish firms explored partnerships with Nigerian startups. Humanitarian organizations reached out with renewed interest. The ripples of a single visit turned into waves of real-world impact. This meeting at Aso Villa was more than just a chapter in royal diplomacy, it was a blueprint for how countries, no matter how different in geography or history, can find common ground for the greater good. It showed us what's possible when goodwill is matched with action, and when respect is the foundation of every conversation. Now, as we reflect on the power of this visit to spark change, we leave you with a thought-provoking question: if diplomacy done right can unlock so much potential between two nations, what other global challenges could we solve if world leaders followed Queen Mary's example, leading with empathy, engagement, and shared purpose?